So, I just realized after watching this movie that this is my first movie review since December of last year. Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my movie review. Yes, I have not done a movie review in so long. Why? 2 words. Musical rehearsal. You know, I had so much to do with the school musical. I did not have the time to, do anything else. Literally no free time at all with that. Because of that, I didn't get to see any movies or anything. Because I had homework to do, things like that. And then these other weeks, I just haven't had the time or money or anything. So, and plus, there's really been no movies that I really wanted to see. And the only movie that I wanted to see is, Divergent. And that's the movie I'm going to be reviewing to you. And I was really looking forward to this movie. It looked like a great movie to me. I love the idea of it. I love the premise of it. I never read the book, but it looked like the next Hunger Games to me. And I have to say that after seeing this movie, I was completely amazed. It was really, really good. It was actually a lot better, than I knew it was going to be great, but not as good as it ended up being. It ended up definitely being. This could possibly end up on my top 10 list by the end of the year, because it was that good. It really was that great of a movie. And I absolutely love it, and I really want to read the book now, because it's a really great story. But let's get to what this movie's all about. So basically, the story of Divergent is that in a future dystopian, there's only one city left in the entire world, and that's Chicago. We know we're in a dystopia, kind of like the Hunger Games, except basically people are divided into 5 factions, as they call them. They call them factions. Abnegated for selfless, Amity for who are like the peaceful people, always like nice and things like that, Karen for truthful, Erudite for intelligent, and Dauntless for brave. So we follow around our character Triss. Now, Triss, known as Beatrice in the beginning, she later changed her name to Triss. She is, her brother and her are getting tested this year to see what faction they fit in. And, her mother's telling her not to worry and everything. But when she gets tested, she finds out that she's actually a Divergent. Now, a Divergent is someone who fits into all 5 of these categories. However, everyone's terrified of a Divergent, and most Divergents end up dying. So Triss is really scared of this. However, they then tell her she can pick her own faction, which faction she wants to be in. And she picks to be in Dauntless. So she has to basically be in Dauntless and cover up the fact that she's a Divergent, not let anybody else know. And but at the same time, people are really starting to turn on her, especially when Erudite, which her brother's in, plans on taking over all the other factions and basically wants to be the top faction. And this really scares her because they start hunting down all the Divergent people. And she has to basically protect herself from getting found out that she's Divergent. And that's basically the movie. And it really was a great movie. And I really, really enjoyed it. And there were quite a few things I really enjoyed about it. But before I get to that, let's get to the acting and the performances in the movie. Now, our main star is Shailene Woodley, who is always amazing in my opinion. Every movie she does, she gives an amazing performance. Even in stupid shit like Secret Life of the American Teenager, which I personally hate that show, but I'm a boy, so, I don't think there are many boys that like that show. If you like that show, I'm not gonna be against you for it. I just find that show particularly stupid, and definitely, like, one of ABC Family's worst shows, but enough about that. She was amazing in The Descendants. She was really good in The Spectacular Now, which I did not review. But this is definitely one of her best performances. She really is great in this role as Triss, She really gets to play a real badass character who at first is not, I thought she was going to be like a Katniss character, but she's actually very different. She's very weak in the beginning, but she ends up building her strength. In the end, she ends up being actually one of the strongest people that there are, there. And I found that I really enjoyed her character a lot. I like seeing the journey that her character went through. Definitely, that was one of my favorite parts. Then you have Theo James as, 4, who, there's a bit of a twist to his character, which I'll get to when we get to spoiler territory, but his character was also really, really strong in the movie. He was kind of, at first, they hate each other, but I knew he was going to end up being her love interest. I knew that was going to happen, and I thought he did a great job, definitely. They had a lot of really good scenes together. Also, Ansel Elgort, who plays Caleb, who is her brother. He also did a great job. You know, he at first doesn't believe her that the other factions are trying to take over all the other factions, and he's like, oh, I wouldn't worry about it, but he definitely did a great job in a lot of his scenes. You could really see it. He cares for his sister and things like that. He did a great job. And there are two other people that I want to talk about. It's Kate Winslet plays our main villain, Janine, who she also was very, you know, malicious, a very good villain, definitely had a lot of things that she wanted to do, and I really liked her character. Zoe Kravitz plays Christina, who's one of Triss's friends, another really great performance. And also Miles Teller. Now, Miles Teller in the movie, he's just playing the regular guy he plays, but in my opinion, I always laugh at, you know, I always end up laughing in the roles he plays. I don't know what it is with this guy, but he always gets me. Even in things like the 21 Over, which I know a lot of people absolutely hated, I thought he was great in that, personally. I thought he was really, really funny, and every time he does these funny roles like this, he always ends up getting me laughing, you know, and I think that's great. But now we're going to get into, first, some of the things that I liked about the movie. One of the really cool things about the movie, this is sort of a spoiler, so let's just get into spoiler territory. First, a minimum spoiler. They have these things that the Dauntless people do called these tests that they do. And these tests make them go into their mind, and their greatest fears come out. And all those scenes where their greatest fears, amazing effects, just really, really cool. Those were definitely some of my favorite scenes. All the scenes where she was, like, testing, and you didn't know if it was real or not, or if she was, like, hallucinating it all, if it was real, you know. That was definitely one of the coolest scenes, in my opinion, was all those scenes where she was wondering if it was real, if her whole, you know, if everything she was seeing was real, if it was just a vision. That was just really, really cool. Also kind of creepy as well, especially when she was like, this isn't real. That part was kind of creepy. But I definitely enjoyed a lot of those scenes, very strong scenes there. But the biggest twist, of course, we have to talk about is, and I kind of saw this coming, a couple of the twists. I mean, the one twist I did saw coming was her mom was a Divergent. I did see that coming. Not a Divergent, but a Dauntless. You know, her mother is actually in the, Abnegation, you know, she's in that one, but she was a Dauntless before, and I kind of saw that one coming, but I did not see her mother dying, you know, I thought her mother was gonna die, but not in this first book. I thought, you know, she was gonna die, but not till, like, the end of it, and she died, and I was pretty, you know, even though I knew it was going to happen, I was still surprised about the way she died. I thought it was very effective, and I thought they did a great job with that scene. But the other big twist that I did not see coming is that 4 is actually, his real name is Tobias Eaton, and he's another Divergent, and nobody knows about this, and I thought that was an amazing thing when we found out that he was a Divergent, something that I did not see coming at all, and when he got captured, I thought that was amazing, especially when he was under the control of, you know, Kate Winslet's character. That was definitely an amazing scene, and I really enjoyed seeing that. That was definitely just really, really cool. A really cool fight scene, definitely, between, 4 and Triss. Really, really cool. And also the ending of the movie. I kind of like the ending where they're kind of just, you know, now on the road, trying to find somewhere better to go, and, they don't really know where else to go. I thought that was definitely really cool. My question is this Janine villain really dead? Because they just sedate. All she did was she knocked her out. That's all Triss did, was she just knocked her out. So, do we really know if she's dead or not? I don't know if she's dead. So, because there is 2 more movies. There is Insurgent, which I don't know what that one's about. And then there's also the last book is called Allegiant or something like that. Allegiant, I don't know how you pronounce that one. Allergent, I don't know, but, those 2 books have to come out, so definitely some big things are gonna happen, and actually, and you guys might hate me for this, but I actually enjoy this plot a little bit more than the Hunger Games. You know, I love the Hunger Games, but this one's easier to understand what's going on. I was more into this one, probably because of, like, the dream sequences and things like that, and, you know, the whole premise of it all. I found it very, very interesting to me. I really got invested in this story, you know. I didn't think I'd be invested in this. I thought this was going to be like the Hunger Games, where I'm invested in the Hunger Games. Sometimes it's hard to understand what's going on in the Hunger Games. However, with this one, it's not exactly like that. It's much easier to understand what's going on. But the really cool scenes are the scenes where she's trying to figure out if her dream is real or not. Those are some really cool things. Especially when you find out what she's so afraid of. That's also really cool. But the thing is that I found those scenes to be really, really cool, and I really enjoyed them. And I really, really enjoyed this movie. I don't know why people are saying it's not good, because I love this movie personally. I thought it was perfect, and I had no problems with it at all. My only problem with it was that it was a little predictable when the mother got shot, things like that. That was definitely a big thing. Also, when the father died, I didn't expect that to happen either. I was like, oh no, they just killed the father. They killed the mother, now they kill the father. What's next? They're gonna kill the brother too? And then, when Miles Teller's character died, I kind of laughed at that. I thought that was funny, because he was being a jackass throughout the whole movie to her. And that's basically the movie. So let me know what you guys thought of this movie. Was it as good as The Hunger Games? Because I know it's going to get compared to that. I know that. I will say there's a little bit more of a love story in this than The Hunger Games. However, it still fits into the Hunger Games category. It's not like Twilight, where it's a romance. It's definitely more of a sci-fi movie. It fits more into that category than it does in Twilight. Did you enjoy this a little more than The Hunger Games? Is it worse than The Hunger Games? What did you think of the performances? I thought, again, Shailene Woodley was great, and the one that played 4 was great. Everyone was really great in the movie. There wasn't really anyone that I could say did a bad job. Everyone did a really, really good job in the movie. Even the smallest of the roles did a great job. Did you think the villain was strong? Are you looking forward to the other movies? Was this disappointing you? I don't know. But that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. So, see you then. Bye.